Welcome in, everyone, to another episode of the Cover 2 podcast. As always, I'm your host, Lawson Turner, and let's dive into it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. So, this is the this is going to be the first of three videos coming out today. We got some football and two basketball things I wanted to talk about, but let's start in the NFL. And per CBS Sports, Bill Belichick is fully invested in returning into coaching after this upcoming year, after his broadcasting jobs. Now, what are some ideal teams that could land Bill Belichick? I think any team in the NFC East, other than Washington, due to they just hired Dan Quinn. I was about to say Ron Rivera, but that's who they relieved and had last season. Why do I think all three other NFC East teams, that those teams being the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Eagles, would be an ideal landing spot for Bill Belichick? The Giants, he already has ties there. We know he was a defensive coordinator back in the 90s for those dominant defensive teams that the Giants used to have. Used to. The Giants, they are a bit of a rebuilding team due to, the Daniel Jones bad contract. Then you have, if they suck this year and have another top 5 pick, assuming for this we're gonna play hypotheticals and say they have a top 5 pick and they fire Brian Daboll because they're like, well, we're just gonna clean house because Bill Belichick, is coming. Whatever the Cowboys do or do not do with Dak will also determine, what happens. Because if Dallas lets Dak walk, that's the easiest thing to do if you're the Giants, the owner and the GM. Just go get Dak and Bill, and then you're right there back in the mix. You have a borderline top 10 quarterback, and then you have the best coach ever who for a team that doesn't have a secondary, he is the best at getting everything out of his secondaries, which that takes us to Dallas. If Dallas re-signs Dak, but they have another double digit 1 year, and then they get bounced early in the playoffs, you don't think Jerry Jones is gonna weigh his options? Because if Bill Belichick is out there and you have a win now team, because the Cowboys core, it's about to get expensive in a hurry. Even if they don't pay Dak, they're gonna pay CD and they're gonna pay Micah. Trevon Diggs already got paid, and we don't know how he's gonna look coming off his season-ending injury last season. So I think that Bill could easily just walk into Dallas and not hold Jerry Jones' feet to the fire, but in the sense of, can you just let me do football stuff? I'm arguably the best football mind of all time. And can you just let me work? Let me work. I don't need the outside noise. And I think that he would be a fantastic fit for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, going to the Eagles with Nick Sirianni. If I was the Eagles, I would have canned Nick Sirianni last season and got Bill Belichick. Why? This team is in win now mode. They have two fantastic receivers. They have their quarterback. They just signed Saquon from, the division rival Giants. Good offensive line. An old, aging defensive back. Good D-line. And they stole Devin White from, Tampa. Now, why did I bring up the overvalued defensive back that the Eagles have? For the same reasons why I mentioned the New York Giants. Bill Belichick can turn damn near any secondary and any defense into a borderline, if not top 10 defense. If you just look at his entire history of being a coach. That's what he did in New England for 20 years. Even after Tom left, yeah, the records were piss poor his last year, but the defense, New England has always had a really good defense under Bill Belichick. And there's no reason to make me think otherwise, no matter where he goes, that the defense will be borderline top 10. Now, the wild card team that I think would be the most interesting team if Bill Belichick goes to. I think it would be interesting as fuck if he went to the Chicago Bears. Why? You don't think the NFC North would put everyone on notice? They draft Caleb Williams this year. They trade for Keenan Allen. They take Roma Dunze in the first round, 10th overall. You have DJ Moore. You signed DeAndre Swift. Your offensive line's getting a little bit better. You're gonna have a year. You're gonna have Caleb with 1 year under his belt. You have your pass rusher. You have your number one corner. You have solid linebackers. Like that's your team. Like if I'm Bill, if they can Matt Eberflus for whatever reason, that would be a hell of a job to walk into and say, "Oh, Dan Campbell's not the coach that I am." They might have the better roster, but I'm the better coach. Matt LaFleur did a fantastic job this past year with Green Bay, but it's Green Bay. They're gonna have to build from within. Now, I'm not saying that they can't because they're a good young team that's only gonna get better. But once again, the Bears would have a fantastic defense under Belichick that can give these coaches problems. And I didn't even talk about what he would do to the Vikings. Because as smart of a offensive mind as Kevin O'Connell is, I'd I'd be shitting myself if I was JJ McCarthy and Bill Belichick goes to the Bears because it's like, well, fuck, I have to go against Bill twice a year. Like, come on now, come on now. I think that'd be interesting, and within the next year, the Niners are gonna look a lot different due to maybe Trent Williams retires. Purdy's going to get expensive. That team is going to slowly deteriorate. Now, whatever happens in the AFC, that's what happens in the AFC. I don't buy even not even a rumor, but just thinking big picture. Oh, what if the Jets start out bad? Would Bill go to the Jets? No, he wouldn't go to the Jets. The Jets are a dumpster fire, and they are a piss poor team that he kicked around for 20 years. There would be zero chance of him going to the Jets. None. And I thought about, oh, could he, go back to the AFC East in like a la the Bills? No, he wouldn't. At least I don't think he would. Do I think it's a bad fit? No, I just don't see him going to the NFC East if it's not back to New England where his home is. When you think of Bill Belichick, you think of the Patriots. And when you think of the Patriots, you think of Brady and Bill Belichick. So unless it's, the Patriots, I don't see him going to another AFC East team. I think those are the four best and most ideal spots for me. Those being the Giants, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and I'm going to throw that random team in as the Chicago Bears. Well, that's all I have for you guys in this episode of the Cover 2 Podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at the Cover 2 Pod 26 to stay updated with the show. And let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions below in the comments. As always, who do you think Bill Belichick's next team is going to be? And how successful will they be? As always, thank you so much for watching for the Cover 2 Podcast. I'm Lawson Turner, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.